why wanting less might be the secret to happiness. Modern culture teaches a simple equation. More leads to happiness. More income, more experiences, more possessions, more achievements. The assumption feels intuitive. If a little is good, more must be better. And yet, something strange often happens. As opportunities expand, satisfaction does not always follow. People reach goals they once dreamed about and still feel restless. New achievements quickly become normal. New possessions lose their excitement. The horizon keeps moving. Welcome to 10-Minute Books, where we explore the ideas behind the books that shape how we understand life, psychology, and meaning. Today, we explore a powerful idea reflected across 3 influential works. A. Guide to the Good Life by William B. Irvine, The Paradox of Choice by Barry Schwartz, and 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. Why wanting less might be the secret to happiness. The idea may sound counterintuitive. We are taught to expand desires, not reduce them. But many philosophical traditions and psychological studies suggest something surprising. Happiness may depend less on increasing what you have and more on decreasing what you want. William Irvine begins with an ancient idea from Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that much of human dissatisfaction comes from uncontrolled desire. We constantly imagine a future in which something else will make life complete. A better job, a better house, more recognition. But every new achievement resets expectations. What once felt extraordinary becomes normal. The Stoics recognized this pattern thousands of years ago. They called it the endless escalation of desire. Their solution was simple but radical. Instead of increasing what you have, reduce what you want. If your desires shrink faster than your circumstances expand, satisfaction increases naturally. This does not mean abandoning ambition. It means choosing desires carefully. In A Guide to the Good Life, Irvine describes a Stoic practice called negative visualization. You imagine temporarily losing what you already possess: your home, your health, your relationships. This exercise is not pessimistic. It is corrective. It reminds the mind that much of what it takes for granted would once have felt miraculous. By imagining absence, you restore appreciation. Gratitude becomes easier. Happiness becomes less dependent on acquiring something new. Barry Schwartz approaches the same problem from modern psychology. In The Paradox of Choice, he explores how increasing options affect satisfaction. At first, more choice appears beneficial. More products, more opportunities, more paths. But Schwartz shows that excessive choice creates psychological pressure. When there are too many options, people begin comparing endlessly. They search for the perfect outcome. They worry about the opportunities they did not choose. And they feel responsible if the result is less than ideal. Choice, which once symbolized freedom, begins to produce anxiety. The mind becomes trapped in evaluation. Instead of enjoying what we have, we evaluate what we might have had. This leads to a surprising result. People with fewer options often report greater satisfaction, not because their lives are objectively better, but because their expectations are narrower. With fewer alternatives, the mind stops comparing. And when comparison stops, appreciation increases. Oliver Burkeman adds another dimension to this idea in 4,000 Weeks. Burkeman begins with a simple observation about time. The average human life contains roughly 4,000 weeks. This realization forces a difficult truth. You cannot do everything. You cannot pursue every opportunity. You cannot live every possible version of life. Modern productivity culture often suggests otherwise. It promises that better systems and more efficiency will allow us to accomplish everything we want. But Burkeman argues that this belief creates constant pressure. When you believe everything is possible, every decision feels like a loss. Choosing one direction means abandoning countless alternatives. The result is anxiety. Burkeman suggests that accepting limits creates freedom. When you accept that your time is finite, you stop chasing infinite possibility. You begin choosing deliberately. You invest in what matters most. And paradoxically, life begins to feel more meaningful. These 3 books converge on a powerful insight. Human dissatisfaction often comes not from scarcity, but from expansion of desire. The more we expect from life, the more life must deliver to satisfy us. If expectations grow faster than reality, dissatisfaction becomes inevitable. Reducing desire changes this equation. When expectations narrow, the same life begins to feel richer. The same possessions become sufficient. The same experiences become meaningful. This idea also explains a common psychological phenomenon known as hedonic adaptation. Humans adapt quickly to improved circumstances. A new purchase produces excitement. A promotion produces pride. But over time, the mind recalibrates. What once felt extraordinary becomes normal. Then the search begins again. More success, more novelty, more improvement. Without awareness, this cycle continues indefinitely. The Stoics offered a way to interrupt it. Instead of pursuing constant expansion, they practiced voluntary simplicity. They occasionally lived with less on purpose, eating simple food, sleeping on the floor, experiencing mild discomfort. These exercises reminded them that happiness does not depend on luxury. Once you realize you can live well with less, anxiety about losing comfort decreases. Freedom increases. Barry Schwartz offers a modern psychological equivalent. He suggests becoming a satisficer rather than a maximizer. Maximizers search endlessly for the best possible outcome. Satisficers choose an option that meets their needs and then move on. Maximizers often achieve slightly better outcomes, but satisficers experience significantly greater happiness because they spend less time comparing and more time appreciating. Burkeman adds a final perspective. When you accept limits, you regain focus. Instead of attempting everything, you concentrate on what truly matters. Relationships deepen. Work becomes more intentional. Life gains structure. The paradox is that meaning often increases when possibility decreases, not because limitation is desirable in itself, but because limitation clarifies priority. The modern world offers extraordinary abundance, but abundance without boundaries can produce dissatisfaction. Philosophy and psychology suggest a different path. Instead of asking how to get more, ask how to want less. Not less ambition, less unnecessary desire, less comparison, less expectation that happiness must always come from the next improvement. When desires become simpler, appreciation becomes easier. Ordinary experiences regain value. The present moment becomes enough. This does not mean abandoning growth. It means aligning growth with genuine values rather than endless expansion. In the end, happiness may depend less on what life gives you and more on how much you require from it. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Modern psychology confirms it, and modern life continues to test it. That was why wanting less might be the secret to happiness, explored through A Guide to the Good Life, The Paradox of Choice, and 4,000 Weeks. Which idea resonated most with you? Stoic simplicity, psychology of choice, or the acceptance of limits? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe to 10-minute books for ideas that help you think clearly about happiness, meaning, and the way we live. Because sometimes the greatest improvement comes not from adding more to life, but from needing less.